Hey to the people. How are y'all? How everybody doing? We're excited to bring you the last installation of Salt Lake City's reunion. Last night aired the third part. I'm here with none other than Jay. How you doing, Diva?
Woo! Salt Lake City has seen better days.
What do you mean by that?
This reunion could have been 1.5 parts. Ah, what? Like nothing happened. Like beautiful gown. Literally, this reunion is the definition of beautiful gowns.
I mean,
The Bronwyn section, I thought, was good.
right.
We're gonna get into it, but what is going? I feel like they might be in their little Potomac slump.
Okay, so let's start fresh because we haven't me and you haven't reviewed all of the episodes.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you this. How did you feel about the season sans reunion?
I thought the season started off really strong. It just seemed like it was going to be a really good season. And then I feel like I started that Liberty Party or whatever when she was getting her citizenship. I feel like that episode was when things started to go downhill. I think basically when they started harping on the plane shit, we lost the plot. But it started very strong. I had high hopes. I didn't hate the season, but it was just the Greece trip was weird. It was beautiful, but I don't know. I definitely don't think compared to other cities, it's by far not the worst season. But I think because Salt Lake has been so strong for so long, we've been too strong for too long. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. But yeah.
Okay. And so what would you if you had to give it a rating 1 to 10? What would
Um
you rate this season?
I give it a 7 because it wasn't where it fell off the rails. There was enough strong stuff, but I give it a 7. Like overall, I think individual performance, that's a different story.
Okay. I think they start off really strong. We really had some fun. It did. I think once the plane stuff started happening, that and then after that, it just kind of lost the plot a little bit. So I would agree with that. I give it a 7.5. I don't hate it.
Yeah, that's how I
Um,
feel.
yeah, so I get it. Heather's annoying. Whitney Rose is annoying, but I'm going to be honest with you. They are annoying every year. And I feel like they're very overly dramatic, those two. They are essentially Giselle and Ashley Darby of this franchise.
So Heather is my least favorite on this franchise, but what I would say is I think Whitney, they're both calculated, but I think Whitney is more this is just naturally who she is. I feel like Heather, she loves the show so much it's gone. I think they all love the show, but I feel like Heather, all she has is the show, so it's kind of like I side eye her a little bit more. But Whitney pulled some stuff in this reunion that we're gonna get into because I saw right through it.
Okay. I love to hear it. I think I know what you're talking about, but
Mhm.
yeah, I love to hear it. Let's get into it because there was quite a few dramatic moments.
Oh,
Um, oh,
yes, okay.
okay.
I was gonna say Starlight Awards.
Sorry. Yes, divas. So Chase put this up, and thank you so much, Chase. Uh, No Chaser TV was nominated for a Starlight Award, and that was for most consistent YouTube channel. So, congratulations. Thank you to whoever nominated us. But what we really need your help in doing is to vote. And you're actually able to vote 3 times per email address. So, if you have not already voted, make sure you go vote and then run it back again and vote again. So you get to vote up to 3 times. So please do that. We thank you. We appreciate you. So congratulations to the channel for that. And so we would like to win it. So please vote.
Yes. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yes.
Vote for
Uh,
us, hoes.
did we share the link? Yes. So the link is in the lounge. So I'll keep reminding y'all. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, let's get into all the teas now. Now we can get into the teas. Okay, so the reunion actually starts back from where we left off on part two, which is Brittany is in tears running off the stage because Meredith called her a bigot. Um, and so that was, Brittany's dramatic moment. And it just, I mean, I don't, for me, I just don't, Meredith doesn't like name calling, right? So for me, I understand there was something that happened off camera to which there was a post. And I don't recall all of the details, but allegedly the post was anti-Semitic. And again, Brittany said that she apologized and she took it down. Brittany was a little confused. Somehow Jared is in the mix of this. And so that's what Meredith was referring to when she called her a bigot. And so Brittany left the second half of the reunion in tears, running off set and saying, "How dare you? I'm not a victim. I am not a victim. Stop it with that."
You
Okay.
know, I love Meredith, love her. I hate that I'm on Brittany's side here because it was either the way Meredith didn't explain it properly, but or I don't know what, but I didn't get bigot. Bigot is a very strong label. I think Brittany is an airhead. I think she's a deadbeat mother. Bigot, not so sure. But then also to Brittany's point, like, girl, you got to be able to articulate your fights better because just crying, running off, like, you didn't really give any rebuttal that you're not a bigot. I don't think anyone thought she was, but you know what I mean? Like, you didn't say, no, well, this is what happened. This isn't what happened. So the whole thing just I kind of hate when we argue about stuff that really wasn't on camera. So it didn't really make any sense to me. Eh, yeah, it wasn't a good moment for Meredith.
Right. I would agree with that. I also thought Brittany thought this was her moment
Oh
and
yeah,
made it very dramatic. So I'm like, I absolutely don't agree that with Meredith that she's a bigot. I don't agree with anybody weaponizing their religion against somebody. You cannot like somebody and still not do that. So that's where I stand with that. Um as Brittany is off camera, you know, reeling herself in, figuring it out, you know, relieving herself from what transpired on stage.
her trauma.
Angie, yes. Angie said, "This is how we found her on the plane." So when someone is this devastated, it's hard to not have compassion. Meredith actually responded with, did I pull did I pull her hair and dump wine on her, or did I just call her out her bad behavior?" And so Andy brought the conversation back to the plane and asked Meredith how she felt when Mary pulled her to the side to talk about it. As Mary and Meredith chat, Brittany then comes back out. Then she kind of interrupted Mary and stated to Meredith that she had apologized for the post. That's what I was referring to earlier. When Mary and Meredith both sighed, Brittany said, "Shut up. We squashed it back then. We're done." So I'll pause there and we can give our thoughts on that.
I'm it was a lot of weird performances on this stage. Like I didn't really understand where Mary was doing some weird interjecting that didn't make sense to me. I was trying to figure out like, are you on Meredith's side? Are you not? There was like random tears involved. I This was just a very frustrating performance by both couches. I'm just tired of talking about the plane. My God, today.
I mean, I'll give Brittany some credit for just saying, listen, I apologize to this and we're going to move forward and I'm not
Yeah.
going to do it. I'll just give her credit for that point. Not a Britney fan, not a I can't really stand her, but the piling on, it's a little bit too much. We don't know exactly what happened on the plane. There's no footage. And so for me, something happened, something transpired. I don't know if I fully believe Meredith's account. If multiple ladies said a lot more happened than what you're saying it did. So I would have to say there's something in the middle is
Oh,
what happened. So
absolutely.
that's where I'm at with this. So it is what it is. But yes, we are tired of hearing about the plane. So here's where it can also get a little bit crazy. Lisa Barlow chimed in and said she felt like the group was ganging up on Meredith, and she understood how that feels because that's what happened with her to Heather when Heather falsely accused her of being the leaker. And Heather responded by saying, you weren't falsely accused. I accused you of what I felt was true, and I still believe it's true. I don't know about you, but I kind of feel like Lisa always turns moments into how back to her. Like that kind of irritated me. Like, not to say that maybe, you feel for your friend and you want to have your friends back. But in that moment, did she need to say something like, they were trying to move on? Why did Lisa feel like she needed to say that part?
Lisa and Meredith feel like everything is a group assignment. And y'all talk about frenemy, besties in these other cities. Lisa and Meredith are a problem because they refuse to let one person work without the other person holding their hand. Like I think that was also my issue with this reunion. Anytime that there was some sort of meaningful conversation about Meredith or about Lisa and we were getting somewhere, somebody was jumping in. And it's, girl, that's your friend. Fine. You can jump in if you really needed to jump in. But Lisa, you didn't need to redirect this. We were actually getting somewhere over here. So
Agreed.
I'm
Those
tired.
two have a real codependency with each other. And I know in another part, they were called out like about the same thing. Like, all right, so Heather and somebody else, I don't remember who, because I kind of tuned Heather's ass out. Um, I think it could have been Angie, or Bronwyn. They were, they were talking, and then Lisa was like, "She can answer for herself," and she was like, "I know you're not talking. You and Meredith do the same thing," and I'm just like, for me, Lisa Barlow lacks any type of self awareness or any accountability, and we'll see that again later on. That comes back up. But even in this moment, she just didn't know how to just leave it the hell alone. And so that was kind of annoying as well. Anyway, let's move on. Um, Andy pivoted and asked Whitney why she called Meredith a pill popper. Whitney explained that was out of frustration because Meredith had called her a liar about what happened on the plane. Um, and then this whole conversation turned into a lot of finger pointing, where they're all pointing at each other and asking who does pop pills, etc. That was basically, for the most part, I believe that was Whitney and Heather and Meredith. Um she's like because Meredith basically stated that she did have a drink in the airport lounge before they boarded the plane, and that's all she had. And so it was like Heather was like, I gave you pills when we went on the other vacation because you couldn't sleep, or I gave you anti like anxiety medication because we were going on this long trip. And so it became you're lying and saying you don't take medication. And Meredith is like, y'all take medication because you the one who gave it to me. And it's like,
Okay. I see Meredith. This is the queen of semantics. Actually, let me back up. First of all, anytime women are arguing about doing drugs, popping pills, I love that. That's because it's just a stupid argument. Meredith is a queen of semantics, and I get what she was trying to do, like saying, "Hey, everyone y'all may take pills, but you're insinuating that I take pills just to drink on top of that, like." And they knew what they were doing. Like, if they're not saying, "Oh, hey, girl, you took an antihistamine and then had a sip of wine after." They're basically saying, well, "You need pills and potions just to function." And they know that that's wrong because they also look. Meredith is a lawyer. She will
no
sue
Nicki
that.
Minaj references. We not effing with her.
Well,
Sorry. I had
this
to
is
throw
true.
that in there.
This
No
is
Nicki
true.
Minaj.
This is true because I'm not a Barbara. They know that Meredith will sue them if they word this wrong. But I also think that they all know that Meredith probably really, probably, possibly there might be some truth to this, but it's too murky. No one can prove it. It's just a slanderous slide down.
I would agree. It's a lot. Like, especially if Whitney and Heather is providing the pills, they solo themselves. So I do get it. I don't know. It's no point in arguing with Meredith. She's never gonna admit to these things. So it is what it is.
I also
Um,
feel like this is something they pulled from. Well, I think they partially pulled this from the fans because after the rumors and the nastiness, that's when everybody was talking so much about Meredith allegedly being a benzo queen. So I feel like they knew that this chatter had already been on social media. People were making fun of how she gets when she slurs. They saw an opportunity and thought that they could stick her with it. But I actually don't care. Like, if Meredith said, "Hey, you know what? I mix pills and alcohol," I'd probably be like, "Okay, girl, great. The way the world is, you probably should." So, like, no one's gonna hate Meredith for this because she's very interesting when she appears to be inebriated. So, like,
we get
what's
some
it?
good zingers
Yeah, like,
when she's a little when she's a little triggered. I would say
if
that.
anything, I would hand her more. Like, come on, get lit. Go to Karen's house. Get pregame before you film.
Jay, I'm not all right. Anyway, um, anyway, um, I just feel like it's just the wrong road. If y'all want to get her for the plane, then fine. But like the pills and stuff, we're not gonna do that. So just leave it alone. So after the finger pointing and everything, Whitney apologizes to Meredith for claiming that she has a pill popping problem, and maybe that, and alluding that she mixes it with alcohol. um Andy asks Meredith if she wanted to take any accountability for what happened on the plane. Meredith said the same thing as before. She didn't mean to hurt Brittany's feelings, and it was the wrong time and the wrong place to vent. Andy responded, so nothing new that you haven't said before. Shady ass Andy. How are we feeling? Do y'all I'm gonna ask the lounge. Do y'all take Meredith's account of what happened on the plane as Bible, or do you agree with the rest of the cast that something transpired on this plane and Meredith is lying? Let me know in the comments how y'all feel about that. The plane still is gonna come up later. That's the unfortunate.
I'm so tired of this damn plane because it's also like, uh,
It is, and we're just sitting here guessing what happened because we don't have any footage. Um, the tense moment that um so all of this was a very tense moment. Andy ends up thanking the group for being so vulnerable on the show, which is why it was so successful. They also like received some accolades for this, and he notes that on the show, he gave a shout out to them as mothers, which was very nice. Everyone then gave some quick updates on what was going on in their lives. Whitney, who I would say didn't give much this season, starts giving her update about her actually getting back her own beauty line as she went on about things getting better with her and Justin. Andy called out Mary for closing her eyes during this particular part of the reunion. Um, and then he then goes on to talk to Brittany and ask Brittany how her daughter Olivia felt about Brittany bringing Jared to BravoCon. Brittany shared that Olivia wasn't happy, um, but also that Olivia was actually there with her at the reunion. So that was sweet. Um, Brittany is now saying that her kids are her number one priority. Things She spent Christmas with her daughters for the first time in years. So she seemed very happy trying to get, her relationships with her daughters back on track. So that's a great update from her. I would hope, you want to be a better mother. So let me get your thoughts on those two updates.
first of all, Andrew Cohen kind of pissed me off with this, like praising them of their vulnerability. I mean, sure, yes, Bronwyn and Mary have been very vulnerable and open about their lives. That I will give them that. I feel like out of all of the current cities, they're probably at the top with how open they've been. But let's not act like this city above all other cities is just doing this emotional heavy lifting. And I guess Whitney maybe what season one with her drug addicted father or alcoholic, whatever. That just kind of annoyed me because it's just like, why are we overly praising them for things that number one happen in all the cities, but that they don't do the best job of? So that was that. Then Brittany, this woman will do anything possible to avoid being an active parent because when she said that Olivia she needs to think that or she needs to feel like she's a priority. Girl, she just needs to be a priority. Like she still just wants to say, "Oh, I'm being a mother, but I'm actually still concerned about Dick." Like, come on.
Yeah. The fact that your daughter, you were supposed to be spending time with your daughter and you invited Jared and y'all spent most of the time making out in front of her. I thought that was disgusting.
But also, why are we asking this? Like all of the things that we could be talking about, I forgot about her and that girl. Like, yeah, whatever. We know she's a bum mother. Like, but we don't need to. She's not a main cast. Like, I felt like she got more questions than she really needed. But that shows that they've hidden or they didn't show nearly enough that they should have during the season to have meaningful discussion, which is why, again, this reunion should have been 1.5 parts. This was the part in the episode where I was like, Mary, my eyes were closing because let's get to the mess. Let's get to something. It just felt like everybody was sitting there like, all right, cool. Like, let's just do this, argue back and forth, and oh, we're sisters, and it just hurts when you do this, but we're gonna do better. The same thing that they do, this is their pattern. They always go back to, oh, we just love each other, and it just hurts when you talk so bad about me. But next season, we're gonna do better. And it's just,
Back to the same bullshit.
I'm noticing this pattern with them, and I hate that Andy just really coddles them because this wouldn't fly in any other city.
Okay, I want to get back to your point about the vulnerability that Andy was discussing, right? Now, I would venture to say not all of the cast is vulnerable. Would you say the same?
I would say no, they're not. I think most people have shown. Let me back. I think season one was the season where everybody was kind of vulnerable, and I get that. That's the first. That was when it was like Mormon Central, blah blah blah. Every other word Mormon. I think that they were very vulnerable there. After that, Heather ain't shown shit. I don't even know what Heather's house looks like. Number one, we haven't been in beauty
No
lab.
one.
Like she hadn't done anything. I
Move
feel like Whitney, I think that she's reasonably vulnerable. I think that they just don't care to put it in the show. I think Mary, I love Mary. She gets a pass for not talking about Robert Sr. And I don't know how to feel about that, but she's been vulnerable. Angie K just talks about Greece. So sure, I guess that's vulnerability. I don't know. Like maybe she just needs to open a falafel stand. I don't know. Um, yeah, this is not the most vulnerable city. I'll just say that. And also, side note, I've been thinking about this whole time. The camera got some very unflattering angles of Heather. I don't know. It felt like every time I was looking, she was like,
But that's Heather. She's been like that since the show started. She's always in those awkward positions. So that's just her. Sorry.
I don't see
Um,
how she's gotten away with not sharing anything. Like, we'll talk about other people in other cities. I feel like the people who are the least vulnerable in other cities have shown miles more than Heather has in 6 seasons.
yes. So I would agree with Mary, Heather, not Heather, Whitney a little bit, Bronwyn.
Mhm.
Um, this season I'll give Lisa a little bit more credit because of the stuff with John. So I would say maybe half of the cat and and Brittany. And that's my thing. Like Brittany's a friend of, and she letting her daughters rip her a new hole on the show. So I would say maybe majority of the cast members actually show some vulnerability. However, Andy Cohen, I would say you need to require Heather Gay to show more, and Whitney Rose to kind of step it up, and Meredith is going to have to step it up as well. I'm sorry. If you bring them back, they're going to have to step it up. Heather absolutely gives us nothing. I think her thing, she is playing the Giselle role, and I'm just glad she got second in because what are you putting in her in the first seat for? She gives nothing other than her being clocked by Jen Shaw. She really, and even then, she lied about that, so she didn't really give us nothing. Um, so I would agree with you on that point. Okay, all right. What y'all saying in the chat? Let's engage the lounge a little bit. I saw some of y'all saying y'all don't really believe Meredith's take is somewhere in the middle. It might not be as extreme as some of the other ladies, but it's also not what Meredith is saying. I would say the same thing generally. Um Sean said it's probably worse than that van ride with Britt filming them. I believe so. I believe so. It's probably worse than that. Zoel said not Meredith using anti-Semitism out of talking. about her drinking problem. Hmm.
Well,
That's what I got. And I like Meredith. I do. I genuinely do. But that's what I felt like dug her out of that hole, honestly.
maybe she needs a one-on-one with Andy.
I'm done. I'm not going there with you. Chase gonna get you later talk about his mama.
But he can't get me now. Now check that.
Boo. Oh,
This bitch. You watch your motherfucking mouth. That's what you do. I might have one eye, but I got 2 feet, and one of them go right up that ass. Keep playing.
You see how quickly you can trigger someone.
I kind of felt like it was happening.
Yeah,
David said Meredith is a lying heifer. Girl, you did it. Just own it and move on. So annoying. Um, I kind of agree. Um, Sean, you really think the producers was on the plane and they didn't film it? Somebody should have filmed something. You could have. It could have been iPhone footage. I would have been happy with that. I really want to know if she was really that bad. I would like to know.
But you know what would be crazy if in some universe Meredith is actually right and they did all of this for absolutely no reason. I don't believe that Meredith is necessarily right, but I feel like I don't put it past these women because they hate her. But then there's still the Mary side. I don't see Mary get involved in this. That's the only reason why I don't believe Meredith.
Mary is the for me is the one who really confirmed this went too far. Because for her to be like Meredith, like, and she wasn't even mad. Like she was like Meredith, come on, girl. You know, you was she don't even like Brittany.
Right.
And you know, like for her to be like Meredith, it was not 10 minutes, it was not 15 minutes, it was way longer than that. Like, girl, own your shit and you still not owning it. I gotta say it's somewhere in the middle.
They
Um,
needed an after show. They needed an after show.
yeah, maybe I don't know. Why didn't they get an after show?
They had like that Bravo HQ stuff, which was pointless. Looking at this comment, I have a beachfront property in Idaho to sell you, Jay, if you believe that. Never said I believe that. I said, wouldn't it be wild if that was the case? Reading is fundamental, my friend.
Oh, Meredith said the producer was sitting in the row ahead of her. Mm, I don't
Well,
know.
we have more to talk about with production in this in this
Oh
week.
yeah, because that production comes up too.
Speaking of production, you don't see my comments?
Oh, I saw them.
Oh, so start reading them too.
Oh,
You know, this this voice of Satan that keeps popping up stress me out. Okay.
no Chasing TV said Meredith freaking out on that van and that yacht confirmed it for me. Um,
She's freaked out every season, hasn't she? Or
yeah, it's she always she's easily triggered. I don't know, but her mood, I will agree with the ladies that her moods are like this.
oh
I
yeah.
respect that. So they're not wrong. Um, so I don't know, Meredith. With all that money you got, why don't you go seek some therapy, child? I don't know what else to say.
I was gonna say, well, allegedly she has her therapy. She carries it with her. Allegedly. That's what they try to say. They said her therapist bottom of the fireball bottle. Oh no, wrong city. Wine bottle.
Okay. So then after the vulnerability and thanking the ladies, Whitney goes back to owning. Oh no. I'm sorry. I gotta catch back up to where I was. Okay, so we're over the Britney of it all. Andy then asks Lisa if John, so we're going into the Lisa segment. If John wanted to embarrass her on TV like Todd did to Bronwyn. Jesus. Lisa said she felt undervalued but despite what people think, she was listening to John. She explained the bottom line is he knows damn well that I really work hard on listening to him. And I think for me, it felt really jabby for him to say that when he knows I work really hard to listen to him. That is when Mary chimes in and she says, if your husband tells you you're not a good listener, then that means you're not. Um so I'll pause there because then we get into the brown one of it all. So
I have
thoughts.
I have always been confused by Lisa and John's marriage. Always. I do believe that they love each other, but John, she's always talking about business partner this, business partner that. John looks more happy talking to her about Vita and whatever else they got going on than anything else going on in their house. I think, obviously, I think he's a good father. He cares about their kids. But when it comes to them, he doesn't ever seem to be trying to go with her bullshit of, oh, this is my college sweetheart. Or we've been like, this is what she's trying to sell. And he never seems like he's on board with it. It just seems like, all right, well, I don't want to get cussed out. So I actually appreciated seeing this side of John. And the ladies are right. I think that they know what ball is with them behind the scenes. And I think it's more that she runs that man, or tries to run that man, tries to run that house, thinks that her word is law, and that he can't say anything otherwise. And he said, oops, well, thought it was hitting cameras are, and I'm gonna cut you down to size.
Yes. And I I think for me, I think John did that purposely to try to get her to change. And she's still not very receptive because for you to not in that moment listen, everybody saw it. The whole cast saw it. They was like, "No, Lisa, we know John. You don't listen to him." And the fact that she sat there and she was like, "You guys are not listening to me," and getting emotional and crying. You're not listening to your cast members even in this moment. So if you're not listening to them, why would we think that you listen to John? You didn't listen in that scene with John, and you're damn sure not listening now. Then she shut down. Y'all guys are not listening. Y'all don't know. No, you did not listen to your husband. You're still not listening to your husband, and you're not listening to anybody else. Mary told you in a nice, polite way, and then your cast members followed up and tried to tell you the same thing. Lisa is
She's a Sagittarius. Tells you all you need to know.
yeah, I'm not, but so is Meredith.
They're two different Sagittariuses, but I feel like they're similar. They're similar, but they're different. I think Meredith, just by way of being a lawyer by like trade, I think that until allegedly, she gets a couple of glasses in her, she can kind of hold her cool together. Lisa, just all she knows is trying to cry. I always think of Kay talking about, you can get one little tear out of that beady ass eye. Lisa never cried. There's never tears. It's just always a scrunched up face. I,
Yeah. So I don't I just I've already given up on Lisa Barlow. I thought, with the finale and them having that Greek tragedy thing, which I'm not gonna lie, I did like the finale. I did like the especially now that we saw the Potomac finale and that shit was terrible. Okay, and we like their finale was really good. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I'm gonna, I'm gonna give them
we could have taken a Real Housewives of Dallas episode over that Potomac finale. Like, there were a lot of things that were better than that.
that. Right. So the Greek tragedy, I thought maybe Lisa was a little bit receptive because she did own something. But then you see her here, and it's the same old damn Lisa Barlow that we're used to. And I don't know. Like hopefully one day she wakes up and becomes a little less delusional. Like the fact that Ben Affleck said he don't know her. I don't know if y'all saw it, but Ben Affleck has a movie out with Tiana Taylor and Matt Damon, and somebody asked him while they were interviewing him for their movie R.I.P. if he knew Lisa Barlow and showed a picture of Lisa Barlow. Now, if y'all remember the beginning of the season, she sat at the table with Heather and was like, my life is different than y'all don't live the same type of lifestyle as me. I go, I couldn't go to the trip because I was busy, with Ben and Blake. Are you sure? Because Ben don't know you.
Ben and Blake.
My ass. And he was
See,
still trying to be polite about it.
this is where I can never fully quit Lisa, because she pisses me off. She really aggravates me, but there is something about her overt narcissism and clear possible personality disorder that I absolutely love, because she really believes everything that she puts out. Like, I
Amen.
mean, this is someone who says, I'm really important to God. Like, come on. Like, she's a nut. And
She said that?
yeah, this was, oh my God, what might have been last season. It was in a confessional or
But it
something. She
sounds
was
like
like,
something she would say.
yeah, she was like, I'm really important to God. Like, I love her. I'm sorry, I love her. She is, I really want her exposed, but she really sips her own Kool-Aid.
I'm glad you called her a narcissist because, like, I always talk about therapy and stuff like that, and it would be so weird coming from me calling her a narcissist, but I really try to avoid, because I feel like the word narcissist is overused, but she absolutely is textbook. So
I think she might be, for me, the biggest narcissist on Housewives. And there's been a lot of women. I Because there's a way that Lisa talks about herself. Some people will talk about themselves in third person and kind of like a joke. Lisa is dead ass about absolutely everything she says about herself. And it's never like, he. It's like, yeah, I said it. Somebody said Nini's the biggest. Nini, I think
mm,
Nini was a narcissist about the show and her role in it. I think Lisa is a narcissist in her entire life, before the show, during
and
the show,
yeah,
after the show.
it's very different. I think Nene made it her business to be the show and to do what, and I understand that I think this should be a job you really take seriously, right? And she lived up to that role. I think with Nene getting all of the like cosmetic fixes, I think that helped her really like become the
Yeah,
role. So it's kind of different. But I hear you.
yeah, I care. And then he said, "I don't think anyone is a bigger narcissist than Teresa." I don't watch Jersey, so I don't have a dog in that fight.
We need. I used to. I After Teresa went to jail, I never watched again. So
I've
that's.
never watched a full season.
Oh wow. No, it used to be good. It
I've
used to be
seen
really good.
clips. They just they always had way too much going. And I like chaos, but their chaos was like, all right, somebody about to pull a gun at one of
Fight.
these.
Yeah, they was fighting. I was like, but those were the golden years of Jersey. When her cousins in them was on there. All right, I digress. But y'all get the
Yes,
point.
yes. I might go back and watch.
Yeah, those were the golden years. I will say that. Okay. So now we get to the Bronwyn parts of the show. Now, Mother Served, I ain't going. She was the highlight to me. That's
She
why she got
was.
first seat. um, so Bronwyn had a heck of a season with a challenging relationship with her mother and trying to keep things together with Todd. Kudos to her for that. Muzzy, which is her mom, telling Bronwyn she was a oopsie, or Todd stealing the cherry off of her ice cream, were really like that tells you, and it really gives you a lot of insight into why Bronwyn is the way she is, though.
Yeah.
She's definitely a people pleaser.
And
Okay.
I can respect that Bronwyn is self-aware of like her issue. And I say this as someone who please, I could write the book on challenging parents. But she Oh, go there.
Yeah.
But I kind of empathize with her, like when she was talking about like how Muzzy kind of saw herself on the show. I get it, like, if that was my mother, like, yeah, I'd kind of back off. But also, girl, you Muzzy, you know this is who you are. Like, I get it. Seeing a mirror
They
back at
don't
you.
though. Like
Well,
they
my mom.
don't. And that's coming from somebody again who can relate to difficult relationships with your parents. They don't. They lack the self-awareness. So it's just like, you know, it's really hard to kind of deal with and manage, especially when you have to take care of them.
Mm, mm,
Okay.
mm.
Although things seem like they were better with her mom on the show, since Muzzy actually saw things when they went south again. The backlash was a bit too much for her. Bronwyn said, I think she felt like the whole world was turning on her, and Bronwyn felt like she blames her a little bit for that. Um, then also what was addressed was the trouble that she had throughout the season with Todd. And this was when Bronwyn dropped the bomb that her and Todd are separated, which makes sense why we saw him in New York at a bar with the woman sitting next to him.
Before we go any further, I want to. Bronwyn handled this. I'm going to give her. I'll give her her nines because she jumped Andy and really spun that in the way that she wanted to do it. Because when she said, "Oh well, do we have any more questions about Todd, or should I tell you where we were during the show, or should I tell you where we are now?" And I said, "Okay, girl, you trying to set yourself up so you can soft launch it." That girl has to have worked in comms at some point because there was
PR 101. You jump in front of the story before somebody else can tell it.
and Andy
I
didn't even really
know.
know.
I worked in PR. I know. I was like, okay. She spilled the beans before
Mm,
anybody, page 6 or anybody else could say it.
mm.
Okay. Yes. So I'll give her a kudos for that one. Um Bronwyn says she made the decision because she felt like her and Todd were not moving forward anymore. She shared that Todd didn't want anyone, he didn't want her talking to anyone on the show about their relationship. um we're at a place where it's not just about me forgiving him or understanding him or trying to move forward. He's just saying that he doesn't want to talk about it. I can't talk about it to my friends. I started to feel isolated around the choices he was making. um Heather then chimed in and was wondering if Todd wanted Bronwyn to quit the show. Bronwyn admitted that he never said that, but if she stayed on the show with him, the cracks of their relationship would continue to be magnified. She said they weren't working forward anymore, and as a team, she was just PR for him. Um, Something else Bronwyn said, which was that she's seen a change in him, not in a good way, because he had also started to watch the show from beginning to end and obsess about everything that was being said about him online. He was reading Reddit, Twitter, reading comments, everything. And so he started questioning a lot of things, and it just became very a lot. She did also admit that she is still living in Utah, whereas Todd is now living in New York. Okay.
This always happens whenever it's a couple in either an age gap relationship or is they're just an older couple and they're on Bravo. Like Ashley and Michael, Todd and Alexia, Bronwyn and Todd, to a differing degree, Ray and Karen. Like this, older men and Bravo don't mix. Like Now, with that being said, I don't know why this man ever thought for 1 second that he needed to make a Twitter account, go on Reddit, like, Paw, why are you doing that to yourself? Like, that's just unnecessary torture. But like,
Not Paw.
I'm just like, now your old ass does not need to be getting on these sites, put your glasses on, squinting and farting, trying to see what people are talking about. Like, come on.
Squinting important.
That's like that's what Bravo tells all the talent when they first get signed.
Don't
Don't read about yourself. Which also, I don't know how much I believe that. It just doesn't seem like Todd's Emma. I mean, I do think he probably saw something about him, but I can't see that man running down the Reddit scrolling on himself.
Note that she also said she was the one who wanted the separation. It's just, if you go into a show like this and you already have issues in your marriage, but I also feel like Bronwyn is like really learning herself, and I think she's trying to stop a lot of the trauma stuff that she, when you're on TV and you watch stuff back, and she said a lot of this stuff. This is not nothing new. She said this at the finale. I think she's a people pleaser, with parents, like, like her mom. And then I think Todd and Muzzy are not far from each other as far as personalities. And so she kind of seeked out her mother in male form, and he controls everything and runs everything. And I think in a way, the show is kind of getting her to understand her place in the world, and she's trying to reclaim her independence and who she is outside of being a mom and a wife and a daughter and everything else. She also recently turned 40 and did a whole interview with People magazine. So y'all can read all about that. So yeah, it seems like she's really trying to figure out who she is outside of being all of that.
Todd need to go be with Martina in Miami. That's someone who be Martina would be time enough for him.
I'm not mad at that.
Like well, I mean, for obvious reasons, they're not gonna be together, but
they both bald. Anyway.
I had to think. I was like, Martina is a little wispy at the top. Well, now that she's raising Black children, maybe she'll use sacred.
Not sacred. Anyway, listen. So Bronwyn then goes on to say, I feel like he doesn't really understand why we are in this position, and that is a huge part of the problem. So if you don't know how you got here and you don't know what the problem is and you won't talk about nothing, how do you move forward? And I think, do what's best for you, boo. If, like, he's an older man, he's not going to change. This is who he is. So that's that. That's what happens when you marry considerably older.
I wish he would have just come on that stage and said, you know what, guys, I'm separated. I don't have a prenup. I got a jet outside. Let's go.
Does she have a prenup?
Oh, no. She said that they don't have a prenup, which is why I'm like,
oh, yeah, divorce his ass.
Either poison the man or just go down to the house.
Allegedly, don't say that, because she do it.
She hadn't done it. I'm just saying, if you were going to do something, like, go on, shit. Get your money and go. Get your little side piece on the side.
Right. He got side pieces, clearly. Do what you do, boo. I mean,
but I think this also goes back to the whole Mormonism of it all. This is what I will say I do like about this city. I think Mormonism is so entrenched in these women that even if they leave the church and start their own lives, they still are very traditional in a sense. Like even Heather, granted, she's out here talking about she wants to date and all that, but she's still so burdened down by what she went through in the Mormon church. And I think Bronwyn is similarly burdened by wanting to have this certain life, be a good wife, but then you're also fighting, this new experience that you're having and all the freedom that it gives you. girl, cash your check. Go
Do
see
it. Like
Yana.
you ain't got no prenup. Don't be like Monique, girl.
Well, well, I think that there are very few people who would make the mistakes that that Bird Killer made. And I like Monique this season, so I can't even really
You like
right.
her on
I
her
like
fake
her
killing
more. I
journey.
like her more. But I mean, well, hold on. It's easier to like someone in a friend role because I only had to see Monique in certain situations. So that's my caveat.
Bronwyn, don't be like Monique, okay? I'm
But
gonna
don't be
read some.
Erica.
I'm gonna read some comments. Um, Sean said it's something about Bronwyn I can't put my finger on. She seems sneaky. Um, yeah, she is calculating. Um, yes, the cracks were there in their marriage before the show. We know. Zoel said Todd was obsessed because his true nature showed. In the finance world, they probably saw him for who he was, manipulating and controlling. I would venture to agree with that. Um,
I mean, look how they met. Like, wasn't she? She wasn't his employee, was she? Or because they met at like a no, I believe they met at like a bar or something, and they like hit it off. But there's always been a power imbalance there. So,
I can't do it.
and I mean, technically, somebody could say the same about Whitney and Justin, but I mean, is Justin even that rich? Like,
No,
no.
he's not. Mm-mm. So Whitney Rose. Um, Whitney was visibly emotional after Bronwyn admitted that her and Todd are separated. And Whitney says, Bronwyn's story really hit home. I'm on the reverse of Bronwyn. I'm the one that feels like I'm always fucked up. Justin's the most incredible husband, and I'm the one on the show that's always fucking it up. Um, Then we got the third walk off of the reunion when Whitney left stage to go find Justin. But she did ask Andy, she said, Can I go see Justin? And we do see that. She goes to her room. Justin comes into the dressing room to comfort Whitney. And he reminded her to stay strong. And it was a beautiful moment. I would say you would want your husband to support you the way Justin supported her in this moment.
the
I'll
way the way Justin looked when she walked back there and was crying and he was hugging her, he was like, okay. Like you can tell this is what pissed me off about Whitney. And I'm not a Whitney hater. I like Whitney. She clearly saw during this Bronwyn monologue, she saw a moment where she could get some camera time because that story made no sense. It came out of middle of nowhere. Everyone was looking like,
yeah,
uh, all right. I mean, I think that yes, she probably can relate, but she turned on every little bit of acting school that she had. It's like I, I get so emotional. Like, Justin and I, we've been and I just even Andy was like, girl, why the hell are you crying? Like, but you know what? She got her camera time. So look, I can't be mad at a girl who played the system, but I was just like, how the hell did we get here? And Justin did not seem to understand it either.
yeah, he was a little confused as to what was happening. But I mean, I'll give credit that Bronwyn kind of leaned on Whitney during the season and some of, what and told her some of what was going on and what she was dealing with and discussing an open marriage and etc. So I'll give her credit. It's not like we didn't see them discussing it and Whitney not admit that she's going through challenges in her marriage as well. So I'll give her credit for that. So Whitney is still off stage and Bronwyn dishes more about Todd. She says the worst thing for Todd was watching the show. He said, "Do you feel like I never look at you when I talk to you?" Do you feel like me taking the cherry was this huge? Um, and then at this point, Heather interrupts and said, "It's what we all felt. Yes, taking the cherry was a huge thing." Bronwyn admitted we are growing in different directions, and the show put a spotlight on that. I think it's hard as this. I think as hard as it is right now, this conversation with Todd needed to happen. The show didn't cause this. It might have sped it up. Um, After Heather and Meredith somewhat made up. Oh, I'll wait there. So also, additionally, um, there was a point where Mary chimed in and said, "But was it a big deal? I mean, yes, he ate the cherry, but they're like, but Mary, if you already having issues and she told you not to eat the cherry and then you do it anyway, yes, it's symbolic of you dismissing her feelings, Todd. You know, like, but you know what? Since he's a finance guy, they don't think symbolically. They everything has to be like really simplistic, and they're very rigid and numbers guys. So I get why he's that way, but like if your wife is telling you I hate when you eat my cherry and you do it anyway, that means you only care about what you want and not what she wants. And so yes, Mary. I,
Or, well, okay. So I generally do agree with you, but let's say Todd knows that she's putting on for the camera, so he could, in his mind, have been like, "Girl, you don't give a fuck about no damn cherry," like, and just went about his business and didn't expect her. I just look. I I probably show a lot more grace to these women than I do on the other show.
yeah, you definitely do. This is a different Jay
I
on
love
Salt Lake
it.
City.
Because
You're more invested in Potomac, definitely.
I have different gripes with Potomac, but I mean, also Salt Lake is just low stakes stupidness. Like I can just watch this and I'm like, all right, girls. Yeah. What Bronwyn has done is she has set herself up nicely to have good fan favor for the next season. So, girl, you know what you were doing.
Yeah, she is. I kind of feel I do have some sympathy and empathy for her. Maybe because I could relate on the parent side of things. Um, on the man side, I've never been married, so I can't. I've been in long term relationships because for me, when I'm done, I'm walking the hell away, and I never got to speak to you again. So
Mhm.
that's really where I stand on that. But it's just I do have some empathy and sympathy for her on the parent side, but this is a lot. In 1 year, one season, this is a lot
Yeah,
to deal with.
I will say, like, she really had been going through a lot, like filming this. I was kind of like, damn, you were really dying on camera, pretty much. Like she was just drowning. So I do have I got sympathy for Bronny Braun, but all right, girl.
um, so after this, Heather and Meredith somewhat made up. It was back until Whitney and Meredith fighting. This time, Whitney was mad about Meredith talking poorly about production. And so what this is referring to is what was it? What did they flash back to? Did they I guess somewhere in the reunion she said this and they flashed back to it? And because I don't remember seeing that in the first or second part, but basically she blamed production for what happened not on the plane, but do you remember what she blamed them for?
She didn't. I don't think that they. It was like two clips, but they weren't. They didn't say what they were connected to.
Okay.
So it
I,
didn't make any sense. But the way Whitney swooped in and was like, "Don't talk about production." Like you would have thought she was cooking them a rap dinner after the show. Like I mean, I get it. Like, yeah, production helps y'all. Like, y'all have a relationship with them. But Whitney, was she acting like she was a part of production? And Meredith been talking about her.
Yeah, she was like, please don't talk about our team like that. Like, they are the reason why we're getting these accolades. They help us. And she was very, very much offended about what Meredith said about production. I I would like to know like what I don't know. Meredith, I don't know. This season, no, it's not this season. She's done this a couple seasons. I don't know. She's very sensitive, and there's nothing wrong with being sensitive. But at the end of the day, you gotta own your shit, Meredith, and stop trying to blame. And to me, she's trying to blame everybody else for her foolishness. That's what it boils down to from me. Whatever she blamed on production, I don't really accept. I don't remember if Heather chimed in. But if Heather chimed in, Heather shouldn't say a mother effing thing. Because remember, she kind of tried to blame production for when she got that black eye. So
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
only other person I've seen that blame production for something. She was dead wrong because that was Jen Shaw who did that to her eye. But yeah, Whitney Rose was like, she was so offended about that. And
The one point that I hate that they didn't, that got lost in the kerfuffle of it all, was Whitney was very justified in saying that they were mad about Meredith picking up that phone call to talk to old boy, because it's like, yeah, girl, you picked up the phone, and who's gonna want to argue with you after you're talking to your son? Like, you did that on purpose. And Whitney was spot on, and I hated that Andy, of course Andy's not gonna talk about that, but that was that would have been the perfect example of Meredith being manipulative.
she is very manipulative. Yeah, like y'all like calling out Brown. Y'all don't call out Meredith for being very manipulative. Maybe because it's a little bit covert.
Maybe Meredith looking up their VIN numbers. I don't know.
uh yes. Let me get back to my notes. Yeah, getting upset. Okay. So yeah, mad poorly production. Yeah. The conversation then turned to Meredith getting upset about not being able to talk to Brooks on Mother's Day. Whitney thought Meredith used that as an excuse to get out the hot seat, which you already addressed. Um, then the substance abuse came back up again. Okay. Whitney apologized to Meredith for the accusations and hopefully it wouldn't and hopefully she won't bring it back up or she won't have to walk it back out again and all of that. But then Bronwyn added her 2 cents to it as well. And Bronwyn said during the lunch with Whitney and Mary, there was zero accusations. She said none of us were saying you were an addict. You have mental health struggles. You have cheating in your marriage. Were we watching the same episode? I mean, y'all threw it out there,
They
but
did.
okay. Y'all threw it out there to for whoever to take it however. But you know what? This is Meredith's fault because she's done this too.
She has.
So that's the pot calling the kettle black. So even if they did, you've done it countless times to your other castmates. So it is what it is. I'm sorry, it cancels itself out. Somebody finally did it to you. Now you're mad about it. Okay.
Bronwyn
Meredith,
is the only person who can match Meredith's like sneakiness, and Meredith hates it. Like, they all try to do it, but Bronwyn is the only person who does it successfully.
that's very true. She really holds Meredith feet to the fire. And you know what? Like Lisa couldn't say a damn word.
Nope.
So I agree with that. Meredith countered, she's never said anything about Todd. So why would Bronwyn going in on Seth? Bronwyn denied that she did that and turned it around and said Meredith did not defend her when Lisa was coming after Todd. She also felt like Meredith only wanted to have the conversations off camera so there would be no proof. Bronwyn said it feels like you do stuff off camera, so when it comes up on camera, you can say that's not what I said, that's not what happened, and no one can prove it. That is very true.
Yeah.
And we saw it happen in Greece, and I'm glad she called her out on camera on it. Meredith admitted that she did not want to talk to Heather one on one. She said, I wanted to get resolution. Um, Meredith admitted she did want to talk to Heather one on one. She said, I wanted to get resolution, and every time I tried to in the group, everyone was yelling and screaming, and I couldn't. For her part, Meredith apologized to Bronwyn and she accepted, but the two had they those two is gonna take another like sit down probably when they resume filming to kind of resolve it. Meanwhile, Angie and Lisa admitted their friendship was like being on a hamster wheel. Angie felt Lisa's expectations were unreal. Still, they both agreed they wanted to move forward. Um, Let me get your take on those last couple of points that happened.
Oh, Jesus.
As we wrap this up,
I'm trying, you know, this group just they just frustrate me because it's just I don't even know how to describe it. It's a way that they all bullshit us and bullshit each other that just it just kind of makes me over them. Like towards the end of this reunion, I'm like, look, nobody's serious here. Like this is all a game to y'all. Like y'all just came up here to just sit and not actually hash out anything because nothing was really hashed out. Nothing was hashed out the last reunion. This is just
a bridge.
it's a bridge.
And
And what I will say is thinking back, and I'm wondering what production's thoughts were going into this season. I feel like had Amy, the Utah socialite, stuck around, we didn't see much of her. But I think that's a type of personality that needs to be in this group. We need to start getting some heavy hitters in here, not people knitting towels in their mama's basement like old girl from 2 seasons ago, whatever she was selling.
Monica?
Yeah, we need some heavy hitters in this cast who are not going to call people out. Not saying that Amy would have been that, but she struck me as a person who could have given that. That is what this group needs moving forward. We need to send deadbeat mom back to where she was.
But we had really good moments with Brittany, even though she's freaking annoying. I'll give her that.
They either make her full time or
I don't know if
utilize
I
her
can deal with her full time. No, she's annoying.
I think she'd bring a lot of mess though. She's very annoying.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I
if
get
I
it.
had to pick her annoying versus Heather's annoying, I'm a
Yeah,
pick
I'd take Brittany. Yeah, I would agree to that. I'd agree with that.
because Heather's got to go. Heather has got to go, and she's
Okay.
not going anywhere.
No, she's a favorite. So this Lisa and Angie thing about their relationship. Um, there was a moment that I missed, and I thought it was funny because Angie didn't really have much to say this part of the reunion, but what she did say was very interesting. So when they were discussing what happened on the plane and Brittany was crying and she came back. Actually, I didn't touch this point. Right? There were two things that happened. Angie said, you know, she said basically that Brittany was in a way worse shape when they got off the plane because remember Angie wasn't there when all of this was happening. So she was like, you know, Brittany was in way worse shape when I saw her after what happened on the plane. And I'm gonna tell you this, Meredith, if it was me and you did that to me, the air marshals would have met you as soon as you got off that plane. I was like,
You know what? I forgot
Angie,
about that. That was
that was hilarious.
But they make it seem like Meredith like yoked this girl up and was like beating her ass on the plane.
That's why I'm so confused. Like, even all right, Angie wasn't there. She's saying Brittany was very shaken up and everything else. So the other part of that is something else Brittany said, which was, Mary, I know you're not, we don't really get along and you don't particularly care for me, but thank you so much for how you treated me after we got off the plane. And Heather chimed in and said, yeah, you were preaching to her. So, guys, I really like, if two people are saying, yo, she was shaken up and Mary had to practically minister to her, something really happened. She was crying, she was shaken up visibly.
Mary probably asked her for tithes and offerings.
Oh, child.
That's
Yes,
probably she's
Angie
like, yeah,
gagged me.
here's
Angie gagged me when she said that, child. That was absolutely so wild. That was her. I was like, oh, Angie. She did not say much. She only really engaged with what's her name? With Lisa about their friendship, and they say they're sisters, and they just go too far and kumbaya and yada yada yada.
I
But
wish Angie would stop letting Lisa play in her face. That is my wish for next season. Like, Lisa does not like you. I don't, this sisterhood BS, no. They don't like each other. They might have liked each other. They don't. And I wish Angie would stop. I feel like Angie just wants to not have Lisa on her ass, but then she simultaneously wants to be on her ass. She likes the punishment that she gets from her, but then tries to play victim. Their dynamic is, I'm kind of over both of them just as a collective because it's
Angie
fake.
and Lisa,
Yeah.
but they were friends before the show. I just think, I'm not gonna lie to you. I
Friends.
think, if you want me to be honest, I think Lisa is really jealous of Angie. When you think about it, Angie's houses, and remember that Lisa's very superficial. Very.
Yeah.
So Angie's house is nicer. To me, she has beautiful hair. Her makeup is beautiful. I don't even know if Angie really looks that bad without makeup, but I can guarantee you Lisa Barlow does. And then she has the hair, the clothes, the fashion. To me, like, Angie has her life, like, she has the picture perfect life, keyword picture perfect. So to me, that's what Angie gives. Like, when she's on screen, I mean, the way, to me, she was best dressed at this reunion.
She was. I mean,
So
Lisa just gets she just gets a dress from the Nordstrom rack and goes about her flat irons her hair and says, hey girls, here I am. So I do agree. I think there is some jealousy. I mean, I believe we know where Angie's money's coming from. I can't say that I understand where Lisa's money comes from. 6 seasons in, still don't understand because I've not seen Vita tequila in any liquor store. Um, don't know how she makes money from these Sundance activations. So yeah, I could see that, but it's just like, hmm, it's a different. There's a different level of fakery in Salt Lake, particularly, that annoys me than fakery in the other cities. Because it's like the other cities, there's fakery, but people will still be like, look, I'll F with you, or like, oh, we might try to play nice, but don't forget what it really is. These girls just try to put a nice bow on everything every season. And I think that's the part that pisses me off. And that's where we're kind of losing the continuity because it's like if after every reunion, you guys are packing it up and sisters and oh my god, we went to high school together, we were at the Mormon temple. If y'all do this every season and then we come back and we don't know how we got here, the fans are going to eventually be like, all right, 1 plus 2 is not equaling 1 plus 1 is not equaling 2. Like,
right.
come on.
So as we're wrapping this up, because this is just about the end of the review, let's make sure we are liking the video. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. But also subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And one more note, No Chaser TV has been nominated for a Starlight Award. Chase, if you could put that back in the, there you go. So make sure that you go vote for us. We were nominated for most consistent YouTube channel on reality TV. You can vote once a day, but you can vote up to 3 times via your email address. Okay, so please support us. Thank you so very much. But thank you all for joining me and Jay tonight. This was a blast. I'm over here sipping my wine, and Jay acting a fool per usual. But y'all love him for it.
I think I handled myself.
Yes, you did very good today, Diva. I gotta admit it.
I keep telling you, outside of the Potomac streets, I'm a lot more balanced. I think the only Atlanta, well, it's just Potomac. Y'all be stressing me the fuck out with Potomac.
Hey, Diva, that's the wrong link, Diva. Wrong link, Diva. Unless you're telling them to call in. The link should be for the Star Award.
Yeah, somebody calling
Starlight Award. Okay, so we are taking callers. So call in to discuss Salt Lake City if you would like to. I didn't know what that was for. I thought you was doing the award link. We're happy to have anybody join us. Let's have a good kiki moment. I'm a little bit this is Taylor Port. Listen, we almost had a blizzard. We had a snowstorm in the tri-state area, and basically I was snowed in, and I was drinking basically Taylor Port all weekend. So at this point, I'm used to it.
I have a whole bottle of wine left, and the ice that is around my car, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I have indoor parking, Diva. I cannot.
I went outside for all of 2 seconds. I said, I'm going right back inside. It's not worth the stress. So we struggling in the DMV a little bit.
Not David judging me for drinking Taylor Port.
He gives Taylor Port, though, a little bit. Just a little bit. Manischewitz.
Listen.
Manischewitz is some nasty wine. My God, today. First time I had this.
Diva, you know they like to call people anti-Semitic when you judge their stuff.
Well, let me tell you, that shit was trash. I threw up in a gas station parking lot. First time I had that. It was so sweet. Oh, my head hurt.
All right.
I give Arbor Miss on Diva. Cry out.
All right. As we're waiting for that, the reunion wraps up with Andy with the group sharing with Andy what they learned. Of course, Heather got to have her little dramatic moment. The best moments of my life have been with you guys, and some of the darkest moments of my life, and that is pretty remarkable.
She gonna scare the men off the Love Hotel when she's on there.
Ew. I'm sorry, Lord. I didn't. That was. You see how instant that reaction was. I'm sorry. I don't watch, and I will not watch Love Hotel. So, anyway. They also have some, instead of having drinks, they have some baklava, which is a Greek food. I actually would like to try some baklava. I never had any.
I don't think I've had it. You know what I was confusing that with? I had Turkish Delight. Have you ever had that?
No.
Please don't rush. I will say, in my experience, the desserts from that region of the globe have not hit for me.
Yeah, I gotta try baklava. I definitely, maybe, you know what? The first time I try is when I go to Greece. I was supposed to go to Greece for my birthday in 2020, and then we know how that ended. So that really wasn't my fault. But that's how they ended it. Jay, give your thoughts on what you hope to see next season.
Oh, I hope for a mild cast shakeup. I know I've complained about the cast. I still like them. I would either want a demotion from somebody to friend, or maybe even try a season with 8 housewives. Um, I don't I would also kind of like to see them film in a different time in the year. And this is across the board. I think all the cities could benefit from switching up their filming schedule. But yeah, I think I wouldn't change too much about Salt Lake. I mean, maybe have a talk to the women, like be like, look, all right, y'all have gotten a little bit too comfortable being like the top dog on Bravo right now. Um, but yeah,
Are they top dogs? Their viewership went up?
I mean, they're the in terms of pop culture, they are like they're the
Yeah.
ones everybody's talking about. Yeah, like I said, this season wasn't a total flop for me. The reunion was a flop. But yeah, just some minor tweaks.
I would
Demote Heather, remove Whitney. Damn.
I would definitely demote Heather.
Yeah, I wouldn't remove Whitney.
You
But
need
yeah,
somebody who's a lighthearted, and she's light. Like, and she kind of, I don't know, she hasn't been fun in a minute though.
she hasn't.
She hasn't,
Bobby, what's going on with her? Trying to buy back her little drugstore lotions.
not lotions. Well, she said she bought it back.
Mm.
Um,
What do you want to see?
oh, I want the ladies who haven't shown vulnerability to show some vulnerability. I would like to see again Heather could be demoted. I think they need another firecracker on this on the cast. Like, see, I actually liked Monica. Um, but like I think I need a little bit more of a fiery personality on this cast. I still like Bronwyn. I like Angie. Um, I think there's a piece missing, and I think they need like a real firecracker. Uh,
Monica belongs on Summer House. Summer House or MTV. That's where her
I
talent
could
should
see, yeah, I could see her on there. You're
be.
right.
Now I could see her on Traders.
I could see that too.
I could see that.
Ain't no way we bringing back Jen Shaw. We don't want her. Let
I'd
her
rather
be
go
alive.
hang out with Angel in Wonderland than bring back Jen. And I wouldn't be doing nothing there. So
Yeah, I'm here for Monica. I like Monica. Okay, everyone. Okay, wait. Yes. Thank you all for joining us this evening. As y'all know, again, the Starlight Awards for reality TV. We're nominated for most consistent YouTuber, content creator. Please make sure you vote today, tomorrow, the following day, 3 votes per email address. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me and Crazy Ass Jay tonight. See you when we see you. Peace.
I
Yeah, yeah. Ooh. I'm joking. I'm joking.